this video is going to be about something called the Black Stickman phenomena, and this is my experience with it. So, throughout growing up, there's been a certain memory that's always stood out to me. It's something I experienced when I was quite young. I think I would have been about 7 or 8. A couple of years ago, I decided to Google it, and I found lots of descriptions that eerily matched mine. So one of the videos I came across at that time, and I think it was the only one that I found, was a video by someone called StephC'sGhosts. She'd never heard of this phenomena either, but what her experience was is she heard her son running to the bathroom, which was in her bedroom, so an ensuite, and straight after, so almost straight after he ran into the bathroom, he came running back out, and he was crying to her, pretty freaked out, explaining that he saw what he called a stickman standing in the front of the bathroom, in the doorway. So it kind of creeped her out a bit, so she looked up on Google herself what these experiences could mean, what they are, or like if anyone else had them. And she found similar information to what I found. I've Googled this myself, and I've listed all the sources that I could find in the description, and also I've listed the creators' videos on them in chronological order. There is a couple of things from the websites that I want to read out. So I'm going to read out a couple of descriptions that match mine the most. I'm gonna have to get ready for this with a cider. Cheers. The first information I want to read out is from villains.fandom.com. The Black Stickmen. The Black Stickmen are enigmatic entities that are one of the more fairly recent of the cryptid sightings. However, they are linked to ancient beings depicted in some cave drawings, which some groups believe are signs of ancient aliens or extra-dimensional travellers. Full name: Black Stickmen. Alias: none. Origin: folklore. Homeworld: unknown, most likely another dimension. Abilities: electrical production, hypnotism, abnormal movement. Members: unidentified Black Stickmen. Hobby: none. Well, that's a bit judgmental, isn't it? Goals: brainwash as much victims as they can. Should be brainwash as many victims as they can. Crimes: brainwashing. Types of hostile species. Interdimensional cryptids. Sighting and description. Black Stickmen are humanoid beings that resemble stick figure drawings. In addition, Black Stickmen lack any facial features, whether it be eyes, a nose, or a mouth. Despite the name, it is speculated that this species is entirely genderless. Black stickmen are said to vary in height, some ranging from that of a normal human to several feet in length. What is especially peculiar about these creatures is how they appear to be entirely two-dimensional. They allegedly possess no shadow, and their methods of communication are also unclear. Witnesses have reported that black stickmen are charged electrically, with static electricity being the most common guess. Unlike other paranormal creatures, black stickmen aren't connected to any particular paranormal event. Rather, they manifest themselves without any prompt. As for where these humanoids came from, there are multiple theories. One theory states that because of their two-dimensional physique, many conclude that they were most likely natives of another dimension. Other theories infer that the black stickmen are actually demonic entities similar to the shadow people. Black stickmen are also theorized to be peaceful entities that aren't aware of their effects on humanity and simply wish to travel. However, there is no definitive confirmation that the black stickmen are related to shadow people phenomena. One of the more less sinister theories is that a black stickman is merely the manifestation of a person's psyche, much like tulpas, doppelgangers, or a malevolent entity known as a fetch. Many claim to have seen these beings whenever they have felt fatigued or were tense. While there are no confirmed attacks on witnesses by black stickmen, many have reported feelings of aggression and agitation from the encounter. It is plausible that these creatures emit negative energy from them or may feed on negative energy, much like astral vampires. If a black stickman is discovered, it could create a movement that mesmerizes the eyewitness. This one is from Obscurban Legend Wikia. The black stickmen are a species of strange humanoid beings rarely seen by humans. They are often described as being similar to typical cartoon stickmen, making them some of the strangest beings ever encountered. Type being continent all, country all, one time no. That means it's seen several times by someone at any given time. Like not by the same person, but like there's been more than one sightings. Theories, hoax, interdimensional traveller, possible explanations. There are several explanations as to what the creature could be. Theories include a hoax, an interdimensional traveller, or a grim reaper of sorts. And this is the Black Stickman Phenomena from ghost.org, posted on May 1st, 2013 by Tony Harrington. In the world of the paranormal, there is seldom anything new to write about ghosts. A ghost, after all, the tried and true staple of an investigator's diet. Rarely do we see an emergence of a new phenomenon. We might see an older type of entity. Experience resurgence in popularity due to a high-profile exposure on shows like Ghost Hunters or Destination Truth. But that is not the same as a true emergence of a previously undocumented event. That theory was flipped on its ear in 2009 when website listverse.com, which is also where StephC'sGhosts read her information about this, featured black stickmen as one of their top 10 bizarre modern paranormal phenomena. The list included black-eyed kids, dog-head man, and other cryptids immediately caught fire due to the inclusion of the black stickmen. As it turns out, there was something to be said of the recent phenomena. The black stickmen are just that, walking stick figures, the kind that you would draw as a child or an adult if you lacked any ability to draw whatsoever. The male gender is usually attached to the figures, though to be honest, they seem rather gender neutral. The figures have been described as unusually tall, black in appearance, lacking any facial or bodily features, and very lean. Their appearance have been documented on message forums and websites since 2008, and unlike shadow people as a whole, do not coincide with the mention on Ghost Hunters or any other paranormal program. Accounts of encountering the figures just started creeping up. Could they be a part of a viral marketing campaign in similar fashion to an alien being caught on a game camera in Louisiana turned out to be a viral marketing film? Super 8. Or could be part of some collective urban legend. The complete lack of photographic or video evidence quickly discounts the fact that these stories are part of a marketing campaign of any sort. They also do not appear to be centralised to one location, such as the mysterious thisman.org website, which seemed to be more of a performance art piece rather than a fully realised otherworldly phenomena. Also, there is no friend of a friend accounts to tie these encounters to an urban legend. The details involved in the accounts are scant at best, mostly fleeting glimpses. So unlike true urban legends, there is no moral sense of irony. The details of what little there are about these creatures or apparitions seem to be consistent from story to story. The appearance usually takes place along a deserted road or in an alleyway away from bright lights and prying eyes. The person encountering stickmen more times than not report being tired. I wasn't tired in mine, not from what I remember anyway. The figures move smoothly as if gliding. They do not make any sound, although the air around them is reportedly charged with static. The actual stickmen themselves seem indifferent to us unless provoked or if they realise they have been spotted. Then they will flee quickly or in some rare instances will approach quickly in a frightening display of aggravation. However, there have been no reported incidents of anyone being touched or harmed by the mysterious beings. The only indications of their intent have been reports of vague feelings of malevolence, though some feel this has to do with the disturbances in atmospheric barometric pressures that often accompany a sighting. Are they paranormal? Who is to say? Most of the accounts are not associated with a known haunted spot, and most sightings are not tied to any other ghostly phenomena. They are simply things that exist outside of our realm of the normal. So, in that sense, yes, they are paranormal, but not necessarily ghosts of any type. Black stickman phenomena is fairly new. Not enough research evidence has been conducted on just what or who they are and why they are visiting us. They could be ghosts or a result of interdimensional crossover. The fact that some reports they don't seem to notice the humans around them may be a key to discerning their origins. Either way, to those who have seen these things, they are very real and among us. As to where they go and what they do once out of our line of sight can only be speculated. Have you encountered one of these mysterious beings? If so, please share your story with us in the comments below. Posted in Mysteries. One of the comments for this article is one of the comments out of the 24 thoughts on the black stickman phenomena on ghost.org. And Malthea says on August 17, 2013, yes, I have seen one. I grew up in California, and between about 1997 to 2004, I would spend just about every day with my best friend Jenny, who lived down the street. We would often hang out at her empty house, live just with her dad, who was always working, or sometimes walk to the liquor store on the corner and buy candy. I often saw a stickman out of the corner of my eye who would either disappear or run off fast if I looked directly at him. He looked just like a child's drawing, black, thin, almost 2D, but without a head. Yet I always got the feeling he was watching me and following me. After a few months of sightings, I finally got up the courage to talk to my friend about them. She said she had seen him too. We would often see him together after that, running across the street behind us with his strange gait or peeking out at us behind her living room couch. He was sometimes the size of a cat, and sometimes larger than a man, and every size in between. Once and only once he appeared to me alone in the form of a stick-figure horse. I always got a bad feeling from him. My best friend and I grew up together in our senior year of high school, which is 2004. Jenny passed away suddenly from a heart defect that was previously unknown. I never saw who we dubbed Stickman again. I'm researching him now, but I'm in my late 20s because I recently confided in my husband about these weird experiences. Thanks for listening and the post. So now, the weird thing about that is my experience actually does describe kind of what they saw too. This is close to the comment that I left StephC'sGhosts originally. So here goes. This is mine. It would have been during grade 2, second grade, at school, which would have made me 7 or 8 years old. In 1996 or 1997, I was visiting my best friend who was the same age. We were at her house at the time, and in the backyard is where I saw the Stickman. I remember it was during the afternoon on a clear but partly overcast day, either after school or on a weekend. I don't remember that detail. My friend and I were in the kitchen but wanted to go outside to play, so we asked her dad if we could have a can of Pepsi each from the fridge, and he cracked a can, pouring it halfway into those Pepsi glasses that used to be around in the 90s. The kitchen back door led straight onto a cement ramp, so we had both taken our drinks outside to this picnic table, which was parallel to the ramp. Now for the intriguing part. As we were sitting at the table, drinking Pepsi and playing with a marble set, I had a sudden urge to look behind me, towards the kitchen and ramp. I was sitting with my back facing the wall. I was facing my friend who was sitting opposite me. She was distracted by arranging her marbles. It was almost like I'd heard something, but with no sound, or like the feeling you get when someone walks into the room. As I turned around, looking over my left shoulder, I saw the black figure running down the ramp. However, I didn't exactly see it appear, but saw it in motion and then disappear at the bottom of the ramp. It was pitch black, staticky, scribbly. It stood around 3 to 4 feet tall, yet it was about 15 centimetres off the ground, but it still sort of ran down the ramp. It didn't seem to notice us or change its pace or speed. It just seemed uninterrupted, like it was just doing what it was doing. I don't remember much of what I thought after that, but that I wasn't afraid at all, and the memory continued to pop up throughout my life. I just really found it more intriguing. I looked out for more of them afterwards, but never saw any more. I just found it really quite interesting. So recently, 17 or so years later, I decided to Google the description myself of what I saw. And sure enough, even though it's rare, I found other descriptions. Things in common being 3 feet tall, staticky, humanoid, may or may not have a galloping motion, floating, looking 2D, and being pitch black, or completely devoid of light. The really cool thing is that I searched the house on real estate sites and found photos of the exact house that it happened in. So I have a picture of the backyard and where the picnic table was and what the ramp looked like, so I'll also add those. I also did a drawing of it, but I can do just another one now because it's just so easy to remember, and pretty much all I think of when I think of this thing is that. So, what I personally think it is perhaps a collective manifestation of a hallucination. Like, maybe how people have the same kinds of dreams. We all have the same common themes in our dreams. Maybe it's something like that. But yeah, it wasn't dark. It was in the middle of the day or late afternoon. Could have been early afternoon, and in the back someone's backyard. So I don't know. So I want to know, obviously, who else has experienced this kind of thing, if at all, or if you've ever heard of anyone else who has. I will mention the other creators who covered this.